going on, all you vivacious vermin? My name is Mason.
And I'm Alex.
Davis.
And welcome to FU Fantasy Football.
Fantasy.
Golly, I really wonder if our listeners hate it when you guys do that.
Fairly certain they do.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got no negative reports yet. No negative reports.
We're losing followers by the day, and we have a limited few.
That's great. We'll lose them all in a week.
Oh,
Not true. Not true. The content is good.
Well, we had football last night.
Yeah, we did.
It was actually surprisingly not the worst.
What a ringing endorsement. Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I don't know, for some reason, like, Tampa Bay and Buffalo just sounded like such a tummy gurgle, if you know what I mean. It just like, there's nothing sexy about it. I know Buffalo, even though Buffalo has gotten better, like, just for some reason, I'm gonna like piss people off saying this, but like, just even their logos are just kind of like, I don't know. There's just nothing sexy about it. It's already a Thursday game, so you temper expectation, and then I don't know. I just wasn't excited. But then it was actually an okay-ish game. The game came down, and it was actually kind of exciting at the last few minutes. So
that was the Venti cold brew game from Starbucks, where you get pumped about it. You enjoy it while it's happening, and then you pay for it later, and that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Usually for
game.
Yeah.
Thursday night games, we don't get a lot of fantasy goodness. A lot of fantasy goodness.
Oh, lots of points. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Even Baker Mayfield had over 20 points.
Yeah.
He was running for his life. I think he got a lot of points on the ground.
Yeah. Well, he holds the ball way too long. Why does he did that in freaking Carolina too? Stop holding the ball so long, man. You're getting killed.
It was interesting because sometimes you wonder, is it him or is it the wide receivers aren't getting separation? And you can't always see the wide receivers from watching TV. So it's like, well, I don't really fucking know because I can only see this limited scope. But knowing Baker Mayfield, it's probably the former. Which one did I?
I mean, you got a Hall of Fame wide receiver on one end and a Pro Bowl wide receiver on the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
One quick plug for our great Lord and Savior Jeff Bezos. If you're watching the Thursday night games, the Prime Video feed has like all the stats and stuff, but it'll also flare out and show you, I think, all 22 when the play starts. So just
Does it really?
Word for the wise, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Wish it was on more than just Thursdays, but I was all excited because I thought I had a Mayfield's averaging a Baker's dozen joke lined up, but he's actually got 15.7 points a game. So,
well, glad you wasted our time there then.
Oh, sorry. I fell asleep. All right, Ricketts.
Oh, back, baby.
First.
He's back. Welcome back, Davis.
Yeah. Thank you.
Leave.
Creative juices are flowing.
I was yelling and in my own world too much that I didn't hear the joke. What was the joke?
No, do not.
I'll say it again. So
I mean, I'm going to edit the podcast anyways. I'm going to hear it, so I don't. Whatever. All right. Okay. I'm going to go first.
Rant. Right. I can rant about that fucking horrible joke if you want me to.
All right.
Go on.
So say you're a 8-point underdog, which got to 10 points because Vita Vea wasn't playing. You're a 10-point underdog. You're going to Buffalo, and you got a chance to kick a field goal at the end of the half to give yourself momentum, to actually try to win the game. It's like 11 seconds left, and you're like so scared that you're going to miss the field goal and give them the ball at the 50-yard line, and then what happens? Josh Allen's going to throw the ball to the end zone, and you're going to lose? I mean, you're already going to lose. You're 10-point dogs. Why not try to win the game? I'm only saying this because I bet the field goal attempt, which is like plus 4,500 or 450 at the end of the half, and they didn't attempt it. So, dude, play to win the game, dude. What are you doing? That's why Bucs are always going to be.
Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, how long was that field goal attempt again?
It was like 59 or 60 yards.
It was 59. That's what I remember. Saw it on the screen. Yeah, like I that's great point. Like fucking why not? These kickers get paid millions of dollars to do one fucking thing. So
you're 10-point dogs on the road.
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to lose. Guess what? You lost.
They did cover. They did cover.
Hey,
Nice.
great. Good teams win. Great teams cover.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is Bible law. That's not us, man. That's in
That is
Acts 4, verse 13. Anyway,
that's incredible. Yeah.
Mason, go next with your rant. I don't think I can listen to Davis.
no,
you got to let Davis go. I'm still formulating.
Okay, all right, Davis, go ahead.
Oh, I'm on such a roll. Why James Cook only get one passing attempt? Like, why did he get one pass thrown his way? He had a great game last week, 3 catches, a touchdown. This is what we want out of James Cook. But, the Bills won the game by 6. Like you guys said, it was a good game. Allen had a pick and a couple touchdowns, ran for 1. But you have a running back that can catch the ball. And frankly, when you are throwing the ball 472 times to just 2 total players, Gabe Dave and Stephon Diggs at 12 each, you got some targets to throw elsewhere. So please throw James Cook the ball. There are so many of us that were so high on him this year and do not understand why he's not getting the usage. So that's why Latavius Murray didn't even really factor into this game. 5 rushes for 7 and one target himself. So it's not like they were giving it anywhere else. They just decided that Khalil Shakir was going to have his breakout game and not James Cook.
Yeah, I talked about him on
James Cook
Monday. We were talking about Kincaid. Or the waiver wire showed. I said Shakir is the other guy that's going to eat net. And I picked him up in fantasy, and then I dropped him for Sam Darnold. Whoops.
Great.
I'm going to rant about the 3 of us, and I'm going to rant about what we could be doing better, because we are fucking nailing some calls, and we need to be getting this shit out here better, gentlemen. Like that Shakir call and the Kincaid call. Like I'm upset with us. We have to hold ourselves to a higher standard and let the people know, because we're goddamn good at this, and I'm tired of not being recognized for it.
Yeah.
Those are 2 great calls, and I hope, and in all honesty, for the small viewership we have, I hope you all listening to us, because we are giving you gems, we're giving you diamonds. Don't squander them.
Yeah.
My little shout out to us, and also holding us. We should be posting more and letting the people know more.
Yeah. Go us and F us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just a quick little one. That's all I got.
We are rumbling today.
All right.
It should be established that Alex has not slept. And
he's already annoyed.
He might be on a journey of discovery for everybody right now.
Oh man, I just want to talk about some football. No other takeaways from this game. It was just
fucking Rachaad White, man.
He's
getting great pass usage, man. 7 for 7 for 70. If he just had that would be great.
Yeah.
He's been pretty mediocre in the run game.
Well, they only ran the ball 17 times total.
Yeah, he only had 9 touches on the ground. He looks like he has 2 games over 50 yards rushing this year. But he's getting so much receiving work that it's saving him.
That's kind of what we wanted out of him to start the year.
Oh, absolutely.
It didn't really show up the first couple weeks, and now they're starting to really, I don't know if Baker's just check down champ, check down Chuckles, but what's happening?
Check down Chuckles. I like it.
Yeah, I'm in on that one. You got saved. Mike Evans saved you there with 7 minutes to go with a touchdown. He was no-show most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They didn't even have Trey White, and he was still shut down.
There's a guy on Twitter that his name is David something, and he did the last 60 points per game of Godwin. It is wildly consistent. wildly consistent. He is going to give you around 14 to 17 points every single game. It was like 49 of 60 games he gives you 14 points, basically.
High floor king, man. Love it.
Yeah. But he won't, but like he's only had like 5 games over 20 or something like that. It was just, it literally lists out all of them, and I'll send it to you guys, but it is wildly consistent. So go Godwin. Great. Good job, Godwin.
Yeah. He's been solid for you.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get some game previews, shall we?
Game review.
Don't steal that.
That's why I didn't say it loud. I said it under my breath so no one would hear it.
I fucking heard you.
That's why you should. Nobody else listens to me. So thank you.
Hey, starting off with Houston versus Carolina.
Oh God.
Or mini Rams versus mini 49ers. Davis, you can start us off with what you think about this game or what to watch in this game.
Do I have to? No, my main thing I'm interested in is, and we've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks, is Devin Singletary taking the RB1 job away from Dameon Pierce? I still think Pierce he just hadn't gotten it going. I think there's still some talent there. I mean, he was great last year. He's had moments this year. Against the Panthers, I mean, are you guys going to put 11 people on the field this week on defense?
Right.
Yeah. I think if there's a get-right game for him, it's going to be this one.
It looks like Xavier Woods is going to play, so we at least have one of our starting safeties back, which hopefully means that we won't get destroyed by Tank Dell. But that means that Dalton Schultz might eat.
Yeah.
Mason, what are you thinking?
I literally have Pierce. I'm doubling down. Alex and I talked about it yesterday. Yes, Singletary could be the guy that does well against our terrible rushing defense and passing defense, and we're just terrible against all fantasy points takers. But I think it's Tank Dell, and I'm saying Pierce gets a touchdown, baby.
Okay.
Anybody would do a shot bet for Pierce under 10 points?
Yes.
I think he's going over 10 points.
Yeah, I'll do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. 10's a push.
10's a push. Write it down so I don't forget. One question for you Panthers fans. Are you guys ready for weeks upon weeks of why did we take Bryce Young over CJ Stroud if Stroud lights y'all up on Sunday? Because I'm afraid for you.
No. Stroud.
Because
we go Stroud under. I'll go Stroud under 17-point shot bet.
That's too high a number.
You have him what 10? 17 points is 10th usually.
If you go 15, I'll do that.
Yeah, he's not averaging.
That's like 15. Go to the projection on ESPN, and like they're all 15.
He's projected for 17. He's averaging 16.6 a game.
So 17.
Fine, I'll do 17. I'm feeling frisky.
Light us up. 17.
Well, but the question is 17 over a potential 8 from Bryce Young. That's what I'm talking.
I'll go.
I'm not talking 24 to 20 here.
I'll say that Bryce outscored CJ.
Oh,
I'll do that.
On that.
Yep.
All right, cool.
How do you not have Bryce ranked that high then, Alex?
Just because I just decided it right now. I think last time they played, I think not each other, but I think Stroud had 15 and Bryce Young had 12. The week before he had 20, and CJ Stroud last 2 games 14.2 and 15.2. Like, we'll see. Nothing really to talk about this game
against us, though. No,
those were against.
No, we're good against quarterbacks. We're pretty good against quarterbacks.
Not according to your win-loss record. Anyway, let's continue.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're bad against the run. We're good against quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying. Pierce, baby.
Singletary, baby. And third, I'll just be drunk on this podcast. Singletary outscores Pierce. Another one?
I'll take that.
Okay, so I got
jump on that too. I already got Pierce over 10.
Alex,
wow, this game we're going to be.
Alex is going to be drunk on Monday.
Pierce under 10. Pierce under 10. I got Singletary over Pierce, and I got Bryce over Stroud.
Yes. Yeah, I got
awesome. Start Thielen. Start Tank Dell, start Nico Collins, and then if you want to start any running back in this game, I feel bad for you. If I had to start one, probably start Chuba, but
I think Pierce, especially maybe a sneaky DFS play too. Because that upside is there. We're just not.
I would die on this hill. He's not a good DFS play.
So much about DFS is zigging when other people are zagging, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could find there's 100% a world where he gets 2 touchdowns and like 40 yards.
He's got like 2 games over 10 points this whole year.
He's getting usage though. He's getting some decent usage. So
anyways, let's move on to the next game. I don't think he's getting that much usage. But yeah, Thielen.
The last 3 games, 24 rushing attempts, 20 rushing attempts, and last week 13. So we went down a little bit the last week, but that's
3.2 points
usage. Yeah, I'm just saying usage. I didn't say production, but our defense is that bad against the rush. So
he's losing usage though. You said 24,
okay,
20, 13.
One game. He had 2 great games of usage and one that was a dip.
Okay, and then terrible performances on all those games. All right, going to the next one. Thielen, Dell, Nico Collins, Schultz. And then Stroud, probably. Okay, cool. Awesome. Moving on. The Rams at Dallas. What are y'all thinking?
Davis, go for it.
I am thinking that it's going to be an interesting game. No, I'm thinking that I think Cooper Kupp comes back in this one. I think they're going to make a big effort because he had 2 catches for 20-something yards last week. So I think there's a huge effort to make him the focus.
This just in. Cooper Kupp is going to have a good fantasy day.
Listen, you sat on him all year, and then he had one big game and came out with 4 points. So you're feeling a little squiggly about that. I'm certain. I don't know him, so I don't know. But he's going to have a big game. I think Puka's still startable for sure. And I'm thinking I wouldn't even roster Royce Freeman. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that I think it's the Darrell Henderson show.
Yeah,
in LA. As for Dallas, I'm looking for Tony Pollard to get a little more involved or have a little bit better run game than he did. His 14 for 30, I think it was last week. Yep. So I'm kind of hitting on all the stars here, but a lot of them are coming off funky games. So I wanted to make sure start your studs, start the guys that brought you to the dance, and that's where.
Harris and Warren both had decent games against them. So I think that Pollard should have a great game, and you got to think that they're going to try to get him involved. Mason, what are you thinking?
I'm just I've got a lot of negative things to say today. Don't get cute. Don't play Cooks. He's just not. He's not the same guy. They're not using him the same way. He's played almost every game, and he hasn't had a game with over 50 receiving yards. Or I think he's had 1. So I don't know. The Dallas is allowing less than 30 points to wide receivers in the last 2, and less than 25 total points to wide receiver. 25 on the year. 25 total points on the year per game. He's had 1 game over 4 targets. He's had 1 game in double digits, and that was because he had a touchdown. So I just don't get cute. Don't play Brandon Cooks. Wide receiver 83 on the year.
You think you should own him?
I don't think you need to. You can if you think that there's something coming, you can. But I certainly do not.
I'm going to double down on that and say for Dallas, you own 2 players. You own Tony Pollard and you own CeeDee Lamb.
Ferguson.
Has he been good at all?
He was quarterback 1 last time he was on the field.
Yep,
Dak was.
Yeah.
That he was.
You can look it up. He's number 21 quarterback overall right now. He did have 24 points, and that was his first game over 20, second game over 13 on the year. He's not been good.
No, he's for sure. But I think
game script is. Go ahead, Mason.
Go ahead.
Yeah, game script has done those things because the defense was scoring mad points early, and now they lost Trayvon Diggs. Defense got worse, and now he has to run an offense now, and it seems like they're getting a little in rhythm.
I think they're allowing around 17 points.
He had 4.2 points against the San Francisco 49ers, who just got lit up by Kirk Cousins, and probably going to happen again with Joe Burrow. He had 19.4 points against the Jets in week 2, and then has not had anything higher than 13 until last week. Sure, great, own him, but do not start. I'm out on Dak this year. I ranked him very, very low.
Yeah, I think their defense is worse, so they're going to have to throw.
18,
and I think that
18, I'm sorry.
I think that San Francisco defense has lost a lot of guys that they had when they played Dak. It's just a more nuanced argument than just that. And then those in the game script was they had like 2 pick sixes in some of those games they lost Diggs, and that defense is not what it was without Diggs. I am also interested in what they do with Gilmore. Gilmore's their only solid quarterback that they're running out there right now. Does Puka stay on the outside, and does he guard Puka, or does he follow Cooper Kupp in the slot? I don't know, but you got to play both.
One last note on Dak. Most of his points came on the ground. He had 7 carries for 40 and a touchdown. Otherwise, he threw for 1 touchdown and 272 yards, which is not bad, but that's a 16-point game.
I just think this game is going to be, it'll be tighter. So in games that they're actually scoring points back and forth, they're going to need him as opposed to these blowouts where they didn't need to use Dak. So I think, like I said, I think he kind of got lost in the quagmire there. The Rams are allowing around 17 points to quarterbacks in fantasy football this year. So that's, like Alex said, that's a top 12-ish, 10-ish play. So
sure. I just think I can't think of any other quarterback in the league on a good offense that gets game scripted out.
Yeah, I have him at 14, so I mean he's not a starter, but I mean
I have him as a start.
Fringe.
Yeah. I have him as 11.
Cool. I think he's a whatever.
We can move on.
There's like 5 of those guys they can just choose between. So you're right. Only two Cowboys. Ferguson, I think he's also fringe. Both receivers on the Rams. Tutu, probably not. Henderson, and I'm not starting Stafford or Higbee.
No, Tutu as a desperation flex play for sure.
I ranked Stafford a little too high. I've got him at 14, but I think that's a little too high even.
Yeah, I'm at 15.
Would you rather play Geno Smith or Matt Stafford?
Matt Stafford.
Oh, Geno.
Garner Minshew?
Actually, no. By my rankings, I have Stafford 2 points higher at 20. So I guess Stafford.
Garner Minshew or Stafford?
Gardner Minshew?
Stafford.
Jordan Love?
Jordan Love.
Oh, wow. I've got
Minnesota, no. I'm going Stafford. Minnesota's playing excellent
Russell Wilson?
right now.
As much as I hate to say it, I play Russ.
Oh, no,
that Kansas City defense is good too.
That's what I'm saying. I have him in 20. Yeah. So
I've Stafford 1 spot higher.
Yeah, I kind of like. He's probably. Maybe I don't hate where I have him. I got him like 14. Obviously the defense is still good for the Cowboys, but it's not what it was. Like Alex is saying.
Yeah.
Losing Trayvon Diggs was a big deal.
Hurt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was so wild. That defense went from elite to like what?
I think there's still a world where they could pick him off and the Cowboys could have decent points. The defense, but
they're not the juggernaut that they were at the beginning of the year.
They certainly are not.
By no means.
Yeah.
All right. We need to move on from this game. Let's go to Minnesota versus Green Bay. I don't know who went first last time, but Mason, you go first this time.
The wide receivers for Green Bay just make me nervous. I don't really want to do with anything from them until there's a little bit more clarity, until Love pulls his head out of his ass a little bit. I'm kind of off. I think if you play one, it's Romeo Doubs, but
any of them. Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm trusting them. If I had to play a flex for one of those guys, I would play Doubs, but they all just make me feel icky.
Yeah.
Minnesota defense is playing so good.
They
it's really night and day. It's so wild. Davis, what are you thinking?
I'm with you on that. I think you obviously start your studs, and I don't know that you have any of those on Green Bay except Aaron Jones, and that depends on how healthy he is, because last time we thought he was healthy, he played 6 snaps. Yeah. So
Christian Watson and he both practiced yesterday, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely check the practice reports, especially today, which is always our big rule of thumb is Fridays. But
yeah,
on the Minnesota side, I mean, what do you do with the running backs? because I kind of felt like Cam Akers might be at least drawing level with Mattison. He certainly looked better than him last week.
Yeah, he runs that zone scheme a little bit better than Mattison. It's kind of like almost the Pierce Singletary thing, right? Akers theoretically fits that offense better, but he kind of just sucks. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I agree with you. I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's so annoying because I think they both have. I mean, Madison is still the lead back there, and he's got a very efficient. He's got favorable matchup here, and I am probably going to bench him, and he's probably going to have his best game of the year and score like 25 points.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Super mad about it.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be right around 50-50. And
you're probably playing Madison if you have him, but you might have somebody that's better.
Yeah, I think we'll probably start seeing some clarity after this game because last week was the first game that Akers got to the 50-50 threshold-ish.
Right. He also spelled him because he came out for an injury, so temper that.
That's what I was thinking about earlier. Was it an injury? Because he played like the last 10 snaps of the game.
He got banged up. He did. They came off the field, and then they kind of just, after he got banged up, they kind of rotated him back and forth per drive. I don't know if that was because he was a little nicked up and he was just dealing with the stinger or whatever. Honestly, it kind of looked like he was about to go into concussion protocol, and I about lost my mind. I still ended up losing, but they didn't, and they kept it. They didn't even go to the tent. I think he just kind of got like rocked a little bit. So hard to say. I think this game will show a little bit more into what's going on, but I still think it's Madison.
Yeah. Any other receivers besides Addison? Definitely Hawkinson. You're starting. Any other receivers besides Addison?
I think keep your eye on Brandon Powell. We talked about him on the waiver wire pod. He'd be on my future waivers if I hadn't brought him up this week. I don't know if you start anybody else with expectation of winning a week with them, but if you're down bad on injuries and you need a flex play, I'd look at Brandon Powell. Maybe KJ Osborne and hope for a touchdown, but
KJ Osborne's more of a DFS.
What happened to him? He was like
Powell just looked really
player
good
last year.
Yeah.
He does this every year. He disappears and then he could have a game of like 30. It's great. It's so good.
Yeah. And
he's already had one.
Not even like a boom, like a boom bust isn't like a deep shot 30. It's like it's just getting 10 targets or something.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
All right, whatever. Moving. No Musgrave.
Don't play Love.
Not against Minnesota. Not against Minnesota.
You got other options for sure.
That might be like a top 4 defense that I'd play this week with as bad as Love has looked. So they look really good. Let's move on to Saints and Colts. Davis.
I will start this one. I feel strongly that this is a make or break game for the Saints offense. And what I mean by that is if they show up and show out like they did against New England, we carry on our suffering for another week or two. If they just get smoked like we started to against the Jaguars, I think you see some wholesale changes on the coaching staff. I think they cannot ignore it anymore. The offense has just not been good. They're running the same plays over and over, and they're not creative at that. There is talent, regardless of what you say about Carr. I wouldn't say the car is stalled just yet, but it's working its way there. Nobody?
It's choking. That engine is...
Oh, yeah, it's sputtering for sure. It's about to Christmas on the dashboard, but this really feels like it's got to be either a new-look Saints offense or we wrap it up and try for Caleb Williams, because I don't know what else to tell you about this season. Saints defense is still good, so Colts, I think you start Pittman, start Josh Downs, ideally in a flex spot just because he's still a rookie, but at this point we got to have confidence in him. He's been great. And you start
wide receiver 5 last few weeks.
I don't know that you start. I don't know that you can play Zach Moss anymore.
No, he's lost that job. Yeah, he's gone, and he's questionable. I think he's banged up.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's on the injury report. I actually like Downs better than Pittman because of the Lattimore matchup. We talked about this pretty much every time we got on the show.
My note is still on Downs too. He's 29th on the year. He's still only 54.6% owned, people.
This man, he needs to be 85-90% owned at min amount.
100% owned.
Honestly.
29th on the year?
He's 29th on the year, and in the last 3 weeks, week 5 through 7, he is wide receiver 11, averaging 17.4 fantasy football points.
Those are good numbers. We like those numbers.
Yes. 11. He's a fringe wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I think last 2 weeks he's 5. It's insane.
Yeah.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Mason, was that what you wanted to talk about?
All my notes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're still rolling out Olave. Like Michael Thomas this game? Yeah. I do like Carr as a
injury
start.
replacement. Yeah, I like Carr as a start. I like Thomas as a flex injury replacement if you're down bad.
I don't know if I like Carr as a start. I've heard so many people say that, and I just don't know if I agree with it.
That defense is not good.
Yeah,
I think. Good.
Yeah, but like last week, it was all in the running game. They scored all of their points.
Our defense is just not good.
Yeah, but
all he's doing is throwing the ball to Kamara.
PJ Walker had less than 7 fantasy points.
Now, one of these was on the practice squad last week, and the other one signed a $150 million contract for 4 years with the new.
What a terrible signing!
Looking great so far.
Mason.
Yeah, but if you take their stats, just look at the stats. I just don't know if it's going to happen, man. They could. It's absolutely possible, but the shootout potential. But I think it's more on the run.
Yeah, and I think that the Colts put up points as well, so I think that they're going to have to throw to keep them behind. I do have Taysom Hill. I put my flag in Taysom Hill, top 10 tight end.
Did you plant your flag on his hill?
Oh.
Okay. Well, I was going to
kill yourself.
It's
Alvin Kamara. Alex and I talked about this. It's Alvin Kamara and it's Taysom Hill, I think, and
11.
And probably 11.
Yeah, you still got to start 11. For sure.
Yeah, you got to start 11. Kamara's my number 2 running back this week. So it's
Kamara.
Kamara. Yeah, Kamara.
I said Carr. I was like
Kamara.
So we're moving on to the next game. New England at Miami. It looks like Tyreek Hill is going to play. People were worried ahead of time. So, Mason, what's your thoughts on this game?
We gotta. I keep beating this drum, and I'm gonna keep beating it until people start fucking listening. Kendrick Bourne needs to be owned as well. He's been great, and honestly, Pop Douglas should probably be owned too. But Kendrick Bourne in the last 2 games has 19.3 and 16.3 PPR points, man. And Miami does not do well against wide receivers. The only thing, they have played once already, and Bourne didn't have a ton of points. He only got 6.9, but he also had 9 targets. And they've been clicking recently, as I just told you. So he and Jones are starting to get on the same page. And if you turn those 9 targets in the past couple weeks and keeps that moving forward, then it's going to be a lot more points than 6.9.
Yeah, it depends where he lines up because Juju didn't play. That's a problem. Like, you don't. It's the receivers are so nuanced there, so you have to kind of know where they usually play. Like Devontae Parker likes to play the X a lot, but if Juju's there, he'll play the Z, and they'll move everywhere, everybody around. So Pop Douglas took the Juju role because Juju was out, so Pop got a lot of stuff. But Juju plays, he's pretty relevant, and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of have to wonder what they're going to do. So if Bourne's playing out of the X position, then he's going to get Xavier Howard. I don't like that for him. So you kind of have to see who is all playing. If Devontae Parker plays, I do like Bourne a lot this game.
Yeah, I think he's no. I think that's good analysis. I just think that he's flown under the radar and he should be owned. Yeah,
1,000%.
He's the clear, far and away number 1 in that offense.
Yeah,
you go look at Juju and you go look at Devontae Parker, and they're in the 80s or 100s in fantasy ranks so far this year.
Kendrick
Bourne. Yeah,
they're in the lineup every now and then.
Yeah, but he's been so good. He's 34.5% owned. Go get that man. Even if he's up against Xavier Howard, they're going to be down. They're going to have big pass the ball play script going on.
Yeah, I thought about him as my future waiver, but we can talk about that now. I've got another guy, but I think he's definitely viable for the future waiver ad. Go pick him up now.
Yeah. He didn't have a good game. I can't remember his exact score when they played Miami the first time.
That's what I just said. 6.9.
6.9.
Oh, 6.9. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, yeah, we'll see.
But again, I said 9 targets. He had 9 targets in that game. That's also when that offense was putrid, man. They were terrible. And they're clicking now. They're humming. They look the best that they've looked all year last week.
And he's got a good run of defenses after Miami. He's got Washington, Indianapolis, and then the Giants and Chargers. So
that's great.
We don't hate
that, man.
That's great. Yeah. I might go for him then. Cool. Miami side, just Tyreek, Mostert, and Waddle.
Yeah. Waddle, I think, is banged up. I think his back is still flaring up from last week, so keep an eye on that.
Has he been on the injury report?
He's questionable right now.
Wow.
I think they're all going to play. He, Mostert, and Hill have all been on there, but everything I'm reading is that they're all probably going to go.
Yeah.
Ever since they got Jackson back in New England, that secondary looks awesome. I'm not talking about Hill because Hill is matchup proof. It makes me worried about Waddle a little bit.
Sure.
Hill is unguardable no matter what you do. So Belichick's been trying to stop Tyreek Hill for years, and he's never been able to.
He did okay. He actually did a decent job. I mean, decent. Yeah. I think he only had 16 points for obviously for our purpose in fantasy. He still did okay.
Yeah, they ran it down their throats that game.
Yeah, Mostert had 25 plus points in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I like Mostert again in this game because they really just want to stop Tyreek Hill if that's if at all possible.
Yeah.
That's it. Anything else from this game?
No, Cruz.
We can go home.
Awesome. Jets, Giants.
Zeke. Hey, just watch out for Zeke, man.
Yeah.
I'm 1,000%.
The splits aren't necessarily great for him, but he's been efficient, which is so wild because he's 30 years old, 29 years old.
Same thing he did last year. You hope for 12 carries and fall in the end zone, and
and he's been kind of doing it. Yeah. And Stevenson has actually not been bad the past 2 weeks either, so he's kind of on the rise. He might be at buy low. I don't know what his schedule looks like. That division is pretty rough, but I was kind of down on him, and then I looked a little deeper last week, and I changed my tune, and he didn't make me look like an idiot. So,
they always want to run the ball in New England.
His schedule is the same as Kendrick Bourne's, which is Miami, Washington, Indianapolis, Giants, and Chargers. Who would have thought that's how that worked? Good schedule.
Jets and
I haven't looked at all of their how they rank up against them, David. It's not a nice thing to say to me.
It's just commenting that sometimes when you're on the same team, you have the same schedule.
No, but I don't know how all those defenses are off the top of my head. Okay, that's not sweet. That's right. Edit this out.
No, leave it in. Leave it in. It's perfect.
I'm just
Davis. You can talk about Jets, Giants.
Oh God. I guess, start Saquon and...
Wait. Here. I got it. Here we go, guys. We're going to do this real fast. Start Wilson and start Brees, start Barkley, start Waller. And we're done. We can move on.
What about Wandale?
No.
Okay. Then let's move on.
Yeah.
Literally, that's it. I don't think we need to talk about it.
Yeah. I think you're... Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on.
Start.
Moving on. No, I'm good. Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. Mason.
Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. Let me find my notes here.
Man,
Pittsburgh.
Oh, my notes are simple on this one. Pittsburgh is terrible against wide receivers. I think it's a get right game for Ridley. And I say that because I have him on my team, but I also say that because the numbers agree. He's been up and down, but I think if there's a team he can do it against on their schedule, this is the one, man.
Yeah. How did Kupp do against Pittsburgh?
How did Puka do?
I'm just saying, so one guy can do well.
That's a Christian Kirk question right there.
Christian Kirk. It could be a Christian Kirk game again, absolutely. But
I'm just giving you a hard time. I agree. I think I think Ridley's gonna have a good game. I'm really interested in this game because I like both of these teams. It's gonna be
fascinating.
Yeah, and they both are like weird and they win in weird ways. So you're right. They don't have like what is it called when you like? I can't think of things right now. When you have how you usually do things, they do it in different ways every single time. So I don't know if I like. This might be the first time that ETN might like fall a little bit for me. It might be he doesn't have to pass the ball because they do have a stout run defense, and I think Hayward might be back.
Man, ETN though.
ETN's been
he's been matchup, bro. It's crazy. He finds a way to get points. I don't know. It's sometimes Hayward, because he does 2
you're going to start him. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's a top 10 play.
Cam Hayward was back in practice yesterday.
Yeah, that's big for them. DJ Pickens.
Interesting note on Pickens. He's only 46% started on ESPN right now. That was going to be my note. Is he is startable for sure?
Yeah.
Like, wait, 46% started?
Yeah, 90% owned, but 46% started.
Oh, that's a stat. I didn't know that they did that. Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I mean, the guy is the 25th wide receiver on the year right now. He's been double digits, I think, the past 3 weeks.
You know, and he's DJ back in a little bit. He was still the number one. I think that might start to shift a little bit, but
Pickens just an unreal talent too, man.
Yeah. He needs to get his yapper shot a little bit more.
Yeah,
but
well, you know, wouldn't be the first Steeler wide receiver with an attitude.
Oof.
Anyway.
Yeah, the 2 receivers on each team, 1 running back.
Do you start either Najee or Jalen Warren?
I've tried not to. I don't want to. If I'm still starting one, I'm still
I'm
still starting Warren. Jacksonville's defense has looked pretty good.
How about Trevor?
I think you can.
I think Trevor in the top 10.
Yeah, against that pass defense, probably. Yep. And that's at Ingram, and that's it.
Sure.
Right? Yep. Okay, cool. Cool. Atlanta and Tennessee. I don't know who went last time, so Mason.
I'll go. I'm taking the reins.
Do it.
Avoid nuke if you can. You've got a rookie or potentially Malik will miss throwing the ball. So
you coming for my crown? Get out of here.
That was actually good though.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
It was beautiful, and you know it. He might get peppered with an insane amount of targets, but they also might be 20 feet over his head. So
AJ Terrell too. Don't want
let me ask you guys a question. Do you start anybody from this game? Bijan.
Oh, I don't own Falcons, and I don't ever want to start them.
That was going to be my
if you own Bijan, you have to start Bijan.
Yes.
This is the lowest over-under on the week, 35.5 points.
And it still might be under that.
Yeah. This feels strongly like a 12 to 7.
They're from the same tree, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Arthur Smith revenge game?
Probably.
They probably will win this game.
They might not even play Derrick Henry if they want to keep him on the bubble wraps to trade him. I don't know. You don't need to showcase Derrick Henry. Everybody knows what Derrick Henry can do.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're probably playing Henry and you're playing Bijan and
maybe Okonkwo. I mean, it is the.
I thought about that, man, but he has just been non-existent.
Yeah, but it's a rookie quarterback, but that dude pushed the ball downfield, so I don't even think that he cares about Okonkwo.
Watch Nuke actually have a monster game. Now that I said that,
I doubt it. And I mean, he might get 15 targets and catches 7 of them, so he might have a good game, but that offense won't have to be.
I don't like it.
If somehow Henry sat, Tajay Spears is a smash start for me.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
we got to move on from this.
I mean,
no, stop it.
If you own London, you're probably starting him.
No,
London's actually been decent, and
he's been good, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah. But it could.
But what's fantasy football without feeling a little squirmish about what you're doing on Sundays?
Yeah, you're owning them. You chose to own them, so you have to start them.
That element of fear to really feel alive.
Oh yeah, that little tingling sensation in your veins.
Moving on, Billy Washington.
I might need to get that checked out.
last time they played, it was 34-31, and everyone had a really good time with fantasy points.
Yes.
Davis, what do you think about this game?
I think you start all your Philly guys. Obviously, I don't think there's anybody you bench. Even Devontae Smith, he's not looked good, but it's coming due, man. That guy is just too good to. I mean, and he was catching balls. He had some big catches last week, so I think.
He 78 last time they played.
He's at 7 and 9 targets, 7 of 9 for 78, 14.8 fantasy points. That's startable, and honestly, could have been better.
And on the Commander side, which I think is a little bit more interesting, I think you can start Sam Howell because they're just going to be throwing the ball. He's going to be in the dirt half the time. He was great. He usually is.
Yeah.
And you start Scary Terry, and I think you can start Curtis Samuel. I don't know that you trust Jahan Dotson for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know that
like 3 games in a row.
I don't know that maybe you start Antonio Gibson out of the running backs. I don't know that you start B-Rob.
No.
The only reason I say that, though, is because I see the pocket collapsing constantly and just looking for dump-off passes.
Oh, no, I'm saying that I wouldn't start any of them.
Yeah. If you have to.
There now. It's a 3-headed monster.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's, I don't.
How
last time it start?
How last time had 19.6 fantasy points against him. So
if Howell can stay on his feet, he's good.
Man, it's crazy. Well, he's on pace. I know we mentioned it once or twice. He's on pace for a record for the most
40 in 7 games. So he hasn't had one game with less than 4 sacks.
4 sacks. That's crazy.
Wild and crazy kids. Also, breaking news: Daniel Jones is not playing again. Tyrod Taylor is getting the start.
Interesting.
You still have playing
DFS sneaky play, but probably not. Probably not. I mean,
no.
He could. The reason I think he could is I think he could scramble around and get some rushing yards.
Yeah.
That secondary is obviously very, very good.
Yes.
Yeah. Have a good time, Taylor.
Don't play tight end.
I like the tight ends in this game as well. I think I definitely got it over Logan Thomas.
Goddard's been put together some nice weeks.
Been awesome.
And this is another favorable matchup. So
yeah, definitely.
Hurts going big strong boys that he likes right now, and not this game.
Moving
on to the next game, Cleveland, Baltimore.
Nope.
Whoever went, Mason, you can go.
Cleveland, Seattle.
Even Seattle. What I say, Baltimore's right below them, and
you're doing great.
You're crushing it, dude.
Lockett's been on the injury report, and they've just been banged up. So I'm going to go ahead and say this for my future waiver ad too, even though he's probably owned in a lot of leagues. But Jackson Smith and Jigga has got to be owned, man. If these guys keep getting nicked up, it's Jackson Smith and Jigba SZN. And we saw the talent show through last week. He was incredible. A couple touchdowns, bunch of yards, bunch of targets.
Might be the only one.
Yeah, I mean,
DK is back.
DK he is back, definitely.
Yeah. I think he's back, but Lockett
gets Tre'Davious Ward. I think a lot's going to go through JSN if Lockett misses.
Yeah, so just keep your eye on. If you own him already, then he's a consideration if Lockett goes down. But if you don't own him and he's still out there on waivers, then by all means, I'm just going to blow my wad early. That's the guy I would recommend trying to get, or just try to trade for him. It might be kind of hard to trade for because he had such a good game last week, but
I saw when we were doing waivers, he was 53.4, so he's probably like 60 now. But I'm sure he's in a lot of leagues. He's owned. And look what Josh Downs, had a great game against the Browns. I think the Browns kind of were feeling themselves a little bit after San Francisco. And they just came in and just shit the bed. I think that defense looks a lot better this week. And I think they get to Geno a lot. So it might not be JSN's fault. It might just be that Geno can't get the ball out of his hands. But his ADOT is super low, so he might just get receptions. So definitely PPR, I like him. Kenneth Walker's also on the injury report. He didn't practice 2 days in a row. You have to look and see what happens today. But there's a chance that he doesn't go. Charbonnet all day if that happens.
Charbonnet is still on the injury report too.
He was full practice. I got pulled up right now.
Yeah. Oh, he's full practice.
Yeah, he was limited yesterday, Wednesday, full yesterday. to that point, Lockett had a couple of DNPs, and Metcalf was full both days. So I think probably trending no Lockett unless he practices today, and we are definitely trending toward a DK renaissance.
JSN 57.3, so he didn't boost that much.
Worth checking.
Very worth checking.
Yeah.
Cleveland backfield. I think it's definitely Kareem's Hunt's job.
Yeah.
If he's fine, I think he's pretty good now. He's just like dealing with stuff. Pierre Strong, I would own, but definitely don't play him this week. I think you got to still start Amari Cooper even after the bad game last week.
Yeah,
and Njoku sighting last week too.
Yeah, Kareem was limited yesterday, but he didn't practice Wednesday, so he's trending positively. Keep an eye on it today.
Yeah, and that would be the only reason that Pierre Strong might get more touches. I like him. I don't know why he hasn't gotten more. He's super fast. I think he runs like a 4.35 40 or something like that. And he's a physical runner. I think he just doesn't pass block that well, and I think that's keeping him off the field. But they traded for him. They like him. I would stash him just in case if you have a spot. Anybody else in the game? Elijah Moore? No. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Amari Cooper is kind of hard to trust right now. I like him as a flex play. I think depending on where you got him, you kind of have to. But that's one I wouldn't feel the best about. Yeah,
I think he definitely has upside against the Seattle secondary. But I don't love it. Baltimore at Arizona. Davis, what are you thinking about this game?
I'm a little worried that the Ravens just absolute steamroller really got going last week, and they're just about to start munching people.
Yeah.
And not that, Arizona's been frisky. Yeah. One note about Arizona, obviously we've talked about Ertz going on IR, so pick up Trey McBride if you haven't. And welcome back to practice.
Start him.
Don't start him yet. And welcome back to practice, Kyler Murray.
Yes. My pickup or my information on this game has nothing to do with this game. It has to do with Cardinals for the future. Yeah. Go try and get Kyler Murray potentially and see what he might be down the road, and trade for Hollywood Brown. Yeah. Because when those two dudes are on the field together, he has eyes for only Hollywood. The flashing lights of Hollywood are all he sees. He was a top 10 top 10 wide receiver when they were both on the field.
Year. Yeah, he was wide receiver 8 when DeAndre Hopkins didn't play last year.
And Kyler is 29.4% owned. So his window is open to be reactivated. It has only been 10 months since his ACL, so I think that number is becoming more and more normal. Rather than the year that we are expected to, but it's worth throwing him on your bench and seeing if he pops up. Frankly, for sure. Dobbs has been good, but they're going to put, I assume.
Dobbs hasn't been bad the past 2 weeks.
He's not been great the past. He's been okay.
Yeah. Like I said, that offense runs through James Conner. As long as he's not there, it's bad.
The question you have is, do they fully bail for Caleb? I don't know what we're using for Caleb Williams tanking, but if they may not activate
for Caleb, I don't know.
I don't know.
So
Crusty.
They opened up his 21-day window. 7 days passed by, and he didn't play last week. This is the next 7 days. So if he doesn't play this week, he'll have 7 more days. Yeah. If he doesn't get activated, he's done for the season. So we'll know by the end of next week, regardless. About that.
Otherwise, start every Raven you have. I think Gus Edwards. I think Gus Edwards has the running back job.
I think
that's not that that's outlandish or anything, but
I think I ranked Gus Edwards too low.
Yeah, and I think that his performance might have kept them from trading for somebody. I think they like him.
Well, they like him. They've liked him for years.
Yeah, I get worried about. I can't believe he stayed healthy this long because he's always banged up. Justice Hill has a fumbling problem, but he's the best pass catcher they have at back. I think they both have a solid game.
Can we do a Gus Edwards name game?
Oh yeah,
rest of season or this week?
Rest of season, I think. Well, no, let's do this week. This week.
Okay.
Kareem Hunt. Darrell Henderson.
Rest of season, I'm going to say Gus Edwards because I think
he's saying this
week. Then Gus Edwards.
Javonte Williams.
Javonte,
actually.
Alexander Mattison.
Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards.
Oh wow.
Better matchup. And they want to run. They're gonna be up so big. They're gonna run the ball in the second.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson.
Gus Edwards.
Yeah, I gotta get him up a little higher. All right, here's one. Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean I need to move him into like the low 20s, like 22, 23.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I'm low on it. I've got him at 31 right now.
I had him in the 30s, and I was mistaken. Yeah, so
I was wrong.
I know. I think he had he looked awesome last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the long hair too. Looked like a predator out there.
Yeah.
Not like a sexual.
Well,
Okay, let's move on to Kansas City and Denver.
Oh no.
PPP, Mason, what are you thinking about this game?
I didn't hear what you say. Which one?
KC Denver.
Start all of your Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rashee Rice,
Yeah,
Kelsey, Mahomes, Pacheco. Anyone else?
those are probably it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Temper expectations for your Denver Broncos. Although Sutton had a decent game against them when they played last.
Do you own MVS? Is he worth owning after his game? He led the receiving.
I've been burned by him before.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Frankly, I own Rashee Rice, and I don't own any other
Yeah.
Chiefs wide receiver.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of Juju a little bit. Like just kind of sucked all year, and then kind of just he started getting games towards the end. But Rashee Rice, I just think is too talented. But because he was second in snaps, and MVS was first, and he had a few catches. Denver, I think they're trading Judy. He just doesn't make sense. Cortland Sutton, I think, is a borderline flex.
Yeah, I think
he's better than that. I think he's for sure startable.
Yeah, what did he? I want to say he had 14 points off the top of my head last time they played, but I can look that up real quick.
I got you. Keep talking.
Javonte Williams, I think he can probably play.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's ramped up and he's the lead back in there now.
Yeah.
He hit like 55% snaps in that or usage. So I think he's gonna. Everyone else's numbers went way down.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's the guy. P. Ryan actually looked pretty good. But I think it's definitely.
He was still at like 29 to 55. So
yeah, I'm just talking about eye test. He looked better.
Oh yeah, he had some good catches. But I don't think you can't trust that.
No, absolutely.
For Cortland Sutton, he's had one game under double digits. And in fact, 11.6 is his lowest on the year, and that was against the Jets, where he had one catch for 13 yards. So 19.6 last week, 14.6 against Green Bay. He's for sure startable.
What was his last week against Kansas City? Because they played once, right?
They have not played. Oh, they did. He had 14.
3 weeks ago.
I was right.
It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
So you start Cortland Sutton out of that for the pass catchers and leave everybody else alone.
Yeah. Russell Wilson, border. Yeah. How do you feel about? There's literally if you look at ESPN, there's 7. They're between 15 and 16. I mean, prefer not to, but there's 7 guys that are
No,
so
I got burned by him too. He's looked like crap the last couple weeks. He started off all right, but I just stay away. Just don't do it. Not worth the risk.
He's like the
Kansas City.
We're trying to have fun in this game. Don't do that.
Even if he has a good game, it's whatever. There's a bunch of other guys that could also have good games.
That's what I'm saying. It's just your preference.
Kansas City's defense is legit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Let's move on to Bengals 49ers. This is going to be, I like this game.
It's going to be fun.
Except if Sam Darnold plays and you're Davis, what do you got about this team? He does sling it.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, but I think that Shanahan's don't. Don't do things.
For those of you listening,
what I tell you to do.
I think listening at home, Purdy is in concussion protol. I think is a pretty strong likelihood he's not going to play.
Yeah, he's running around doing a bunch of crap in practice. So maybe the first person that got a concussion and then started the next week this year.
Interesting.
It's everyone. What I've heard.
He was limited yesterday, so he's practicing.
Interesting. That's wild.
Yeah, McCaffrey definitely.
I don't think it's a huge downgrade to any of the receivers if he doesn't go, because I think it's still he's a system quarterback, guys.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be very. He's gonna do a lot of stuff underneath. I think you see a lot more Kittle in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Ayuk and Debo if he plays. You know the guys you're starting.
Debo has not practiced all week. I'm not looking for him to play unless he comes in with.
Yeah. And Darnold ain't gonna be scared to
other note for
ball to Ayuk.
No.
One other note for the Niners that I think is hugely consequential is Trent Williams has also not been practicing this week. You definitely felt his absence last week against the Ravens.
Yeah, I bet they Bengals in this game.
Yeah, and I also, to that point, I think we see vintage Joe Burrow in this game.
He's looked better, and he's had 2 weeks off, man.
Exactly.
Have you? We haven't heard anything about Warner. Warner's probably not playing.
He is not on the. He's not on the injury report at all.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well then, we'll see. I think Burrow's good enough though. That
playing T. Higgins.
I think you have to.
God, I think you have to, but I don't like it.
I have him ranked low because he just. I know they just came off of bye, so he's.
Yeah, I bet. He's got to start showcasing himself, or he ain't gonna get the payday that he thinks.
Dude, I've got him. And maybe this is disrespectful, but I have him at 40. Like, I just don't want anything to do with him.
At 27, I think he's still a flex play just because of potential. But
I mean, his talent is there, but I don't
hate that.
I just would rather play like guys that I have I even have Drake London ahead of him, and that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing the rib injury. He was a decoy. Off the bye, I assume that he's probably close to being healthy.
I would check that. I would just look to see how he's feeling, how he's practiced, and see what people are talking about.
Are you playing Mixon? Yeah, you got to play Mixon, but just volume.
I don't know.
He looks awful this year. He's just taking so many hits. I feel like he's not explosive.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't know that you play him.
Here's the thing: is that I mean, obviously that defense is good and their run defense is pretty good. But all right, let's do a name game with Mixon.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre.
Game script for sure.
Alexander Mattison.
Madison.
God, I have him above Madison, but I just the games or the who they're playing is favorable. Ugh. Dameon Pierce.
Oh, Mixon.
I knew it. That was for Alex. Brian Robinson.
Mixon.
Mixon.
Javonte Williams.
Javonte.
Wow. All right.
Man,
I got things to consider.
Not been good.
I have Javonte. So I have Javonte, Madison, and Mixon, and I have to decide which one of those three dudes to play against young Alexander here.
Man, Joe Mixon outside of that one huge Panthers game last year, ain't really been good for a year and a half.
Well, that's the problem is that like he did that, and so it's been sitting in the back of my mind. And like, if I bench him, that'll be the one game he fucking annihilates, and he'll be sitting on my bench, and I'll just kill myself.
He has had some double-digit games. I'll give him that. But his highest points is 14 against the Rams. Like that's not. I mean, that's RB. Like put him in your RB2 slot and hope
he is. I think he's been RB before the bye, so I'm sure he's dropped since then. But he was like 19, 20.
Yeah.
He has one touchdown on the year.
Yeah, he's 23 right now. Saquon Barkley has more points than him, and he didn't miss 3 games.
Dude.
All right, let's move on.
Me banging my head against the microphone. I'm sorry for those listening.
Bears at Chargers. Mason.
Bears Chargers. Bears beat LA Rams or LA Chargers.
Battlestar Galactica.
It was so close.
No, I don't think the Bears beat the Chargers.
No, I think the Chargers destroy them. Must win for them.
I think you can still play DJ.
Yeah.
Roshan. I think Donta Foreman is actually still a play.
Roshan's full practice. I've got.
I just don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly, and so like I think you can
flip a coin, like
throw a dart if you need one of those guys, you can play them. I think. The Chargers are terrible against the run, and they're terrible against the pass. So go ahead and play those dudes if you have to.
I think the Chargers come out firing, and they're up by like 17.
Which means I think it's a DJ. I think DJ will be fine.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think that the Chargers get out to a huge lead and they don't look back.
My big takeaway from this is because I'm sure people are worried about their Bears, even though they won and they did okay last week. I think DJ's a smash start still.
Yeah, I think like the Lions got destroyed last week, but the second half they were just kind of like playing prevent, and a lot of like that's where Amon-Ra got so many points. I think it could be the same way this week with this game. So I think DJ could get a ton of points just because they're just so far behind.
Yeah.
Davis, got anything about this?
I would not be surprised if Dante Foreman had a good game. That's my other thing.
I just don't. I think he might get like 7 carries, and Roshan owns that passing game for the backs.
But I also, if he had enough,
I'm just trying to think of game script would.
Yeah, for sure, because they could be behind. No,
right.
Cole Kmet, I think is a bench. Ooh, I don't.
Bench. I think you can start him.
He did not get a single target last week.
Yep, correct.
He has a free agent rookie throwing the ball, and he didn't get one single look.
Which is so
that
weird.
makes me very nervous. Me very nervous.
No, that's valid. I just think that the Chargers are, like you said, they can't defend anything, and they're going to have to pass to catch up. Because guess what? Bears can't defend anything either.
Yeah, I think this year we do have like a fair amount of tight ends that we can kind of trust week to week. He's probably like the bottom of that tier of guys that you can roll out there. Like 16.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it with the.
Yeah, here's the other thing. DJ Moore, which I love, I fully agree. Start him. He's not getting the 15 plus targets that Tyreek Hill gets or AJ Brown gets. So somebody's getting the ball, and there's nobody else of it. Valus Jones, Darnell Mooney, the Moon.
He only had like 165. I want to say off the top of my head, passing
I'm
yards.
Certainly not saying that Toasted Bagel is good. Sorry to run over you. I just think there's got to be some targets going around. I'm willing to call the Vegas game a fluke.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to throw the ball to stay up. So we'll see. Yeah. But
that if you're a Cole Kmet owner and you're starting him, you got to assume that the way you're getting points is you're playing catch up, and you're getting
There's probably other guys you've picked up at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Like
in that game.
Yeah, you'd have to
hope you picked up Dalton Kincaid like we told you to.
No kidding.
There you go. All right, let's
the last one that got split.
Yeah, let's move out to the Monday night game. Vegas, Detroit. Oh, I don't know. That's the Monday night game. Davis, what do you think?
Bounce back game for the Lions, man. They got absolutely wrecked by the Ravens. Yeah, I think you're back at home, so Jared Goff will be nice and comfortable in his 70-degree heat. Nice and and I think you're still going to have Gibbs full-time again. So I think you 100% start Jahmyr Gibbs. That's not breaking news.
I have him as a start, but I feel like some people have him as like a RB1, and I know he did that last year, but that was last week, that was such game script.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with that ranking that most people. I went and sneak peeked at ESPN to see just some basic stuff, and that was one of the things that's popped out to me. I was like, man, these guys have him ranked at like 12. I think it's a little recency. It's recency bias, and it was game script. They were trying to catch up, and they were dinking and dunking.
Yeah, the last time, before that game, the previous game that Montgomery missed, he got 18 touches, 17 runs, and a catch. 18 touches behind the offensive line in that offense. It's got to be high.
Sure. I just think he's more of a mid RB, low end RB2.
Big news. I have him at 8.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just tempering expectations.
Oh, that's totally fair.
Such a monster game.
It was a huge game, but it's also what we had hoped to see out of him the entire time. He had 9 catches for 58 yards.
But it was so game script dependent. It was
but that's the whole point of Jahmyr Gibbs to have a game is to have a
but this Vegas they're gonna
like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have him over Mostert, Davis?
Let me double check for you.
I'm just trying to think where you got 8. Like that's
I do. I actually have Mostert fairly low.
Wow.
I have him way too low, but I think I would have him. I think I have him at 16.
You have him above Barkley?
I have Barkley at 7.
Okay.
Because he's the only offense on that.
You have him over Swift, and you have him over Mostert, and you have him over Brees. Okay.
Yes, and Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs and Bijan.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor's not next.
Yeah.
I have him above Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I don't. I think Jonathan Taylor took that job, and I think they're gonna.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think they're gonna.
Yeah, New Orleans. Though I mean, they still. I guess they didn't stop the run. But
They didn't stop it last week.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right.
Well, let's run through a name game, and I'm willing to admit I have Mostert at 14, which is probably way too low. But
What?
yeah,
I have him at 2.
Hey, listen,
I'm at
one
9.
of us is going to be right. It's probably not going to be me. But would you start? Oh boy, where am I going to start this? Would you start Tony Pollard over, or excuse me, would you start Jahmyr Gibbs over Tony Pollard?
No.
Right. Would you start Jahmyr Gibbs over Bijan Robinson?
Yes.
Ooh, well, then there's our line. Would you start him over? We already talked about Brees. Would you start him over Derrick Henry? Yes.
I just need to move him up a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even throw out any.
I got him at 12. I got him at 12.
Yeah,
I have Brees over him, but I had Bijan too high.
Because Mason, you're in your back end RB2 range. I've got Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, James Cook, Rashad White, Ramondre, and Kareem Hunt. Would you start him? Would you start any of those guys over?
No, absolutely not. No.
Say that again.
So my 15 and down is Kenneth Walker, which probably Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, James Cook, Rashad White, and Ramondre Stevenson at 21.
If Walker plays, but he's going. Well, the Browns sucked.
The top 15 is. I think the top 15 is pretty set. I don't think you're.
I think I have Jahmyr Gibbs at 15 right now.
Yeah. I think the top 15 you can move around all you want. Those guys are like set, and then you hit the Derrick Henry.
Craig Reynolds also banged up last week. I think he plays more this week.
I agree with you. I do agree with you.
Sure.
And I think they get up to a big lead, and I think they save him because they don't really want to give him that many touches. They just had to against the Ravens.
He actually didn't. They should have fucking not.
They really should have. It's so stupid.
And keep in mind, Gibbs had 11 carries. So if you're going to talk touches for a running back, that's a good split for as far as
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's going to get volume for sure.
So 20 total touches. That is a lot overall, but it's pretty evenly split between carries and
yeah, he had 18 touches.
I just don't think he gets those catches this week. And 11 on the ground ain't gonna do it. If he still has 5 targets and 4 catches, then that's pretty good. Still 2.
If you have to have this problem, then you're gonna be fine anyway.
You have to play him. My point is Jared Goff is a top 10 play. He at home this year, he's averaging 22.7 fantasy points. So,
love it.
So,
is this the
22.1? Excuse me, 22.1.
I was curious about this yesterday. Obviously, I wasn't on. Do you guys still have Devontae Adams over Jacoby Myers?
I do not.
I didn't last week.
Oh, look at you! I thought I was a trendsetter this week.
No, we talked about it last week. And I was like,
so good.
He was wide receiver 8, and Devontae Adams was 56 going into the games last week.
Mm-hmm.
He's outscoring him on a per game basis because he missed one game. So in fantasy, he's outscoring Mr. Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
What a world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close. It's like 17 and a half.
Yeah, I have him 10 and 14, so it's pretty negligible. But
a guy in our league, JP has him in our league. He's played them both all year.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm fairly low. I mean, not super low, but I'm fairly low on Devontae Adams. I think I have him
they'll get him the ball. This might be the week, but they'll get him the ball.
Yeah. You have him closer to 20. Is that what you just said?
I think so. I'm looking at my rankings right now. I have him at 16. Just kidding.
He's averaging 16.7, and Jacoby Myers is averaging 17.6.
Yeah, I got Myers at 11, and I got Devontae Adams at 16. All right, you guys want to beat the waiver wires? Who you can pick up now so you don't have to do it later? Mason, what's your guy?
I already talked about it. I would just repeat the 2 guys that I said. Kendrick Bourne and JSN. Pick those guys up. They're both fringe around that 50-ish number, but they're doing God's work right now. And rookie wide receivers towards the end of the year start to get a lot more play because they start to get more acclimated in their offenses. Injuries pile up. They're younger. Tyler Lockett's older. He's already showing up on the injury report. So DK never stays healthy for the whole season. And when he's out, one of them was out. Guess who fucking shooed out? Odell. So there's a reason he was the first wide receiver taken off the board in the real NFL draft, and he showed that last week. So go get him. Go trade for him.
Yeah.
And Kendrick Bourne too, man. He's looked great. He's just been a target hog, especially recently.
The Bourne identity.
Yeah, David. So what are you thinking?
Jesus.
We kind of talked about it already. This is more entirely speculative, but go get Kyler Murray. Just do it. Even if you have to drop him after a week because they didn't open his window, great. But if he plays and he actually looks like Kyler Murray, you just had a steal and possibly an actual league winner. So just go pick him up. Speculative ad.
Like a drunk baby holding a glass of milk, trying not to spill it.
Otherwise, I'm staying on my Brandon Powell train for the Minnesota Vikings. I just think he looks really good. The stats haven't quite shown it yet, but the guy's got moves, and I think they're going to start leaning on him quite a bit more as KJ Osborne is not really getting it done.
Yeah.
Also, Justin Jefferson they're talking like he's going to be back like the day IR ends. So
yeah, for 6 weeks. I follow doctors on Twitter. They're like, "What are they talking about? Like this, this should be like a 3-week injury, and they're giving him an extra week, and he should be fine."
Trade, Alex.
I got to split, guys. I'm sorry. So,
all right,
I'm 15 minutes past. Later. Love you all. Go Saints.
My love.
Bye.
Fuck the Saints.
Speaking of Homer being a Homer. I'm going to go DJ Chark. Thomas Brown is going to add a new wrinkle to this offense. Sean McVay likes to push the ball downfield. Cooper Kupp right now is fifth in yards per route run. They had 2 guys last year in the top 25. Not having Cooper Kupp on the field, Van Jefferson and Tutu Atwell, they like to push the ball downfield. DJ Chark's our downfield guy. He's 19th. Thomas Brown identified DJ Chark and recruited him. He got Deuce Staley to also recruit him. He wants him there. I think you see a couple deep shots to DJ Chark, and I would say 5+ targets.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Here's one quick thing I want to talk about, a little trade scenario. And maybe I am crazy for saying it. I think it's important to talk about this because it is and we can do an episode on this. We probably should on trading. But what do you think about potentially selling high on Adam Thielen?
Oh yeah, I would.
I think it's an idea. It's so hard to do when someone is doing so well for you. But selling high on a guy that is 34 years old and we're midway through the season and he's held up and that's great. But, the season's long. And
I think you're thinking of it more than anybody else would be thinking of it. I think they're just going to see the production.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So yep. I think it is, after hopefully he has another good game. He hasn't had a bad one yet. And start thinking about moving him for a little bit younger production. I love that he's on my team. I haven't actually got to bear the fruits of him even playing for my team yet because of the way our trade structure works. And most trades structure works that way, that you can't play him within like a certain period once you trade. But he's a great sell high. It is impossible to sell high. It's so hard to do, but just think about it. It's worth considering.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what you can get back for him.
Of course.
If you can get like
do a quick name game?
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sure. We'll run a little long here, but if you guys are still here with us, appreciate you. This is actually, I think, really good stuff. Would you do it for, I'm going to start lower and then move up. Would you do it for Garrett Wilson?
No.
I wouldn't either. How about Zay Flowers?
No.
That's close, but I don't know.
Bateman's starting to come on a little bit, and Mark Andrews is always going to be the running back.
Yeah, that's a good point. Jalen Waddle.
No.
It's close for me, too. Jordan Addison.
No.
These are all so close for me.
Yeah, they are for me, too, but Justin Jefferson's coming back and taking...
Yep, that's a good call. Nico Collins.
I'd have to look at their schedule.
I know, it's so hard.
I'd probably say Nico.
Ooh, I don't know.
It's close.
I mean, he's younger.
I have to look at... Because also, man, Panthers' schedule gets really easy, too.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Thomas Brown's going to open up that offense. I'm actually going to say Thielen.
Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman.
You would take Michael Pittman?
Yeah, all day. Target monster. Minshew's slinging it. Michael Pittman for sure.
Oh, that's
if you get Michael Pittman, I'm doing it for sure.
Chris Olave?
Thielen. No, Thielen. I don't want any part of that offense.
Brandon Ayuk?
I think it's still Thielen. I love Ayuk, but man, they just are having a hard time getting the ball.
Too, yeah. Christian Kirk?
Thielen.
That's close for me, just because he's also a target monster. The problem is he doesn't have a high ceiling.
I think Ridley's coming on. I think you're right. I think Ridley's going to start becoming a bigger part of that offense. Yeah. And Zay Jones has been hurt. I think Ridley. I think Kirk might be a sell high because Zay Jones has been out too.
Mike Evans.
Thielen.
Yeah, dude. I've started in like the early 20s and have been moving my way down. Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it's too talented.
Puka Nacua.
Puka.
Yeah. We're starting to get into
yeah.
Jacoby Myers.
Thielen.
You would still take really?
Yeah, Devontae Adams is coming back, man. Hey, Jacoby Myers, I like him for right now. You ride the wave, but it's Devontae Adams. Unless they trade him, they might trade him.
That's probably where it starts getting ridiculous after this. But I think it's an interesting Pittman. You said Pittman was like the only one you really put your flag in. Pittman, Devontae. So that's like probably on the year. Those guys are around the 15 to 12-ish range.
Yeah.
Look at their schedules for sure, and we just kind of did this as a on the fly thing. But I don't know. I would love for him to continue to do this, but it's interesting to start looking.
Every year he gets a little banged up. I think they're going to start using DJ Chark down. They're pushing the ball downfield more. They're going to use Thielen a little bit more underneath, so he's going to still get a lot of receptions. His yardage won't be there. I don't think his touchdown. He's always been a touchdown monster, but I think we did a lot more big plays, and that's what we haven't been doing. It's been nickel and diming all the way.
Well, the thing is, if you open it up, it actually makes it even better for him. If our offense is anything better than what it's been, both those things can be. DJ Chark can still be good, and Thielen can still have 20 points a game. No,
that's what I'm saying. The yardage is going to come back. So
I agree, but I just think that he's still going to be in that range. The solid 15 to 20 points a game.
Yeah, they're going to start using the backs more. They're going to start using the tight ends more. Right. Basically, what happened is that they said, yes, we're going to get your offense, Thomas Brown. They built this team for Thomas Brown. You look at the team across the board; it looks very similar to what McVay has in LA. So, but Reich got away. He tried to learn that system because what Reich likes to run between the tackles. Between the guards, literally straight in the middle. Jonathan Taylor hits that A gap all the time. And what McVay does is more of a zone scheme,
right?
And they push the ball downfield, which opens up the Kyron type roles where you get these. That's why they got Miles Sanders to get those little pass catches. It opens it up for the Cups of the world. And that's why they got Mingo, is because he's a big body guy that can push down in the center of the field. But Reich just didn't really understand how to call those plays. I think now that Thomas Brown's there, it's going to look a lot more like McVay's system.
I hope so. I freaking hope so. That would be great.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Because Because if they don't do anything this week, then they're just going to be a sad rest of the season. Oh, we don't have to think about that right now. We can think about it on Monday.
All right. Well, this has run long, but I hope you all enjoyed.
It's fun. We had a good time.
This point.
Let's take it away. Yeah, take it away, Mason.
You know what we say at the end of every episode. F-U Fantasy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Bye now.
Bye now.